winemakers all over the world have long been inspired by the great wines of France, including us here at Cooper's Hawk. So today's flight is really all about the great inspiration that comes from France and French wines. So we'll start today with our Lux Sparkling Wine. This is obviously inspired by champagne. Great champagne is made in a very specific way. It goes through 2 fermentations, which give it great complexity and intensity, and this is also made in that same style. It's delicious. It's got this really nice toasty, biscuity flavor to it that comes from that extended aging with the lees or the yeast. And it's also made from Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, which are the classic grape varietals that you find in the Champagne region of France. So great wine to kick off this flight for sure. The next wine that I have here is our wine of the month, and this is called Liberte. And Liberte is the French word for freedom. And of course, what we share with France is not only our love of freedom, but of course our love of wine too. And this wine is really cool because it's a blend of both French and American grapes, primarily American. And of the American grape varietals in there, it's mostly Cabernet Sauvignon. From there, the French grapes are actually coming from our wonderful partner, Jean-Charles Boisset, who we've done many collaborations with. And these grapes of his are coming from the Rhone Valley in the south of France. And what's really cool when you have a wine like this is this old world, new world play of flavors where you get the earthy characteristics from the wine that comes from France and a much bigger, bolder, fruitier flavor that comes from the grapes coming from the United States. So, and when I taste that, I get really incredible complexity, really big, dark, juicy flavors, and this really beautiful herbal undertone that comes from those French grapes. It is gorgeous. So thanks, France, for the Statue of Liberty, and thanks for this. So after this, I have the Super Tuscan. And Super Tuscan is made in Italy. Obviously, it's coming from Tuscany. And the story of Super Tuscans is really interesting. You had Italians in Tuscany who were making very traditional wines like Chianti. And then many of them were really inspired by these really great wines that they were seeing coming out of Bordeaux and these Bordeaux grape varietals, as well as some that you found in other parts of France. So they started to experiment with these French varieties alongside their very traditional Italian varietals, particularly Sangiovese, and came up with these super wines. These are real powerhouses. Yeah, the results are super. You get Sangiovese, and in this blend, we also have Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Syrah. And what I love about this is it has this really beautiful classic Italian flavor of, you get that kind of leather, the beautiful earthiness as well, but the big bold intensity that you get, particularly from Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a nice contrast to the flavors of Sangiovese. It's a gorgeous wine, and I think that the French influence on Tuscany in this case has resulted in something really delicious. So the final wine in our flight is our Lux Meritage, and boy, there's not many wines out there that are more French inspired than this. The name Meritage is a made-up word. It's a cross between the words merit and heritage, and it was a word that was created to describe wines that were made in the style of wines of Bordeaux, particularly using the Bordeaux grape varietals. And in this one's using the 5 main ones, which are Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. So all 5 of those grapes come together to give you this really harmonious blend. And this is a wine that's been aged in new French oak barrels, so you get this really beautiful, toasty, spicy characteristic that comes from that oak. And I just love this wine. I mean, this is so seductive. It's just really, really luxurious. So Lux is really the right name for it. Really great, intense, dark characters that come from the Cabernet, and really well-rounded with the other grapes in the blend. Really, really dark fruit, really opulent. That new French oak aging gives this incredible spiciness to it as well. It's a gorgeous wine, and the whole lineup, it's pretty delicious. So this is a really fun lineup of wines, and I think it tells a really great story about what we have to thank France for. So France, thanks for the inspiration. Cheers.